Today we're going to look at some of the various ecotypes we have developing here at Briery Creek. The first, which we've already taken some more detailed looks at, is our upland pine woodland savanna ecotype. Here's a quick view of that. So of course we're achieving this with commercial thinning and hand thinning, controlled burning, and the use of animals, using this as a silvopasture system. But remember, the real goal of our silvopasturing is to develop a rich, diverse woodland savanna habitat and all the different forms of plant life and wildlife that will support. So that's what we have here, and I'm going to pan around and then we'll enter a more dense area of forest. These are pines that we're going to manage as a closed pine forest. We've already done a lot of work in there, but it's a little different. So this is similar to the area where we're doing the current controlled burn study. So we're letting these trees grow closer together. We're going to very gradually thin them so that they will always remain in a closed forest condition. And we're mainly doing this in areas that we want to remain sheltered. Provide more shade in the summer, more of a windbreak in the winter. So it's our program areas, areas where the animals will overwinter, that kind of thing. So this is a closed forest. There's not enough light getting through the canopy to allow much to grow at ground level. So there are some, small trees slowly making their way up, but really they would have to have some large gaps to exploit in order to really make it up to the canopy and be healthy. So we're managing this different. And you can see as we walk there's vast differences between this and then the open woodland savanna area. We're not going to burn much in here, except just to create some safety zones around the farm and program structures and that kind of thing, and dwellings. We're also walking down into a small ravine gully. It's really a legacy gully from a long time ago when agriculture was practiced. This is a gully that's fairly well healed over. So another reason to leave the forest thicker here and to keep the animals out is to preserve water quality and keep the soil intact. So we'll head down this way a little further until we get to the boundary with the hardwood zone, which is here. We'll take a look at that. So from the tops of the ridges down to about mid-slope, we have this upland pine woodland savanna ecotype. And then down lower, below mid-slope, going down to the top of the toe slope, we have a hardwood system. And we're managing this so that it'll eventually become mature and eventually old-growth hardwoods. So this will be even different yet from what we're doing in the uplands. So we'll start with the right side of the trail here. This is an area where we're having a control. In other words, we're not doing any kind of treatments or caretaking or anything. We're not going to prune, we're not going to thin, the animals will never be in here, we'll never burn, we're not going to do anything. In fact, I have it roped off so that people stay out of it. I don't even want people walking in there. And this is so we can study the difference between what these areas will do without help and with help. What are the positive and negative results from doing caretaking work. Now on the left side of the trail, This is the area where we have begun regular intensive timber stand improvement work, caretaking, where every year we go in and we thin it a little bit more with the aim of promoting the trees that will eventually be in a canopy of a mature old growth forest. So there's oaks, tulip poplars, hickories. There's even American chestnut in here, if we can get it to survive the blight. We do leave some of the pines up. We anticipate that they will, live out their natural lives and eventually be overcome by the oaks and hickories. And there is some red maple as we get closer to the water. A little bit of American beech. And then there are understory trees. Hollies, red cedar, black gum, sourwood, persimmon. All of these are present. So the first step is to really get those canopy trees up and running so that they can take over, be exceptionally healthy in maturity. So they'll live for hundreds of years and really be the keystones of this ecosystem. And then the next step will be to work on the understory. Get more of those understory trees healthy, let them beat out these sprouts of the overstory trees, and then get our shrub and ground cover level intact as well. So right now we're really focusing on the canopy, and then later on we'll get the lower levels built up. So again, to compare, this is a before shot without any timber stand improvement work or caretaking done. And then on the other side of the trail, this is an area where we've done extensive work. And we'll continue to do a little bit in here every year. And so that's the overriding landscape pattern that we're using for the uplands and slopes. Pine woodland savanna up top, and as you approach mid-slope it transitions into mixed hardwood forest, and we're going to bring that along until it reaches an old growth state. So, we'll never bring the animals down in here. We'll never bring the farm animals down in here. We're not going to burn. We're just going to let this grow, and we're going to cultivate a very rich, mature hardwood system.